We had our public
You can
comment.
still
Andy
sit there.
doesn't come and look at their own.
I
Even look
just
at
think,
can't.
I don't need more, but
I'm gonna
sorry,
lose it.
I'm not trying to
You just start
distract.
cracking up.
I'm just here to
I
throw,
Facial
I'm
expressions.
here to throw the
We are
confetti.
live.
Okay, thank you.
We're live.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are continuing our August 28th regular commission meeting. First item on the agenda is Nicole Brown, Community Development Director and Planner. Bridger Brewing East amended application.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Nicole Brown, Broadwater County Community Development Director, and Planner. Here today to present for your consideration an addendum to the Bridger Brewing East Minor Subdivision Findings of Fact and Order Report based on the amendment that was provided to me from the developer of Bridger Brewing East. So the amendment being the preliminary plat application, which if you have your addendum in front of you, the amendment is identified as attachment A, so it would begin on page 7, subdivision application, specifically item number 3, F and G, which 3 on the subdivision application is type of water supply, and previously on the original Bridger Brewing East application, item F and item G were marked as a new, F being new public system and G being individual well. So this amendment to the preliminary plat application is to eliminate item number 3F, a new public system, and to keep item 3G. There is an existing well and public water supply serving the existing Bridger Brewing Brew Pub bottling and canning facility. So that is the only amendment to the subdivision application. With that, I would like to read my addendum to the findings of fact and order report into the record. It's a brief 3 pages. So, with that, this addendum to the Bridger Brewing East Minor Subdivision Findings of Fact and Order Report is to the Broadwater County Commissioners from myself, Nicole Brown, the Broadwater County Community Development Director, for the proposed subdivision to be known as Bridger Brewing East Minor Subdivision. The date of original application was June 3rd, 2022. They received element completeness on June 10th, 2022. They received sufficiency on July 22nd of 2022, and the commissioners granted preliminary plat approval on September 12th of 2022. The date of amendment was, or is, August 21st of 2024. The applicant is Bridger Brewing Company, LLC of Bozeman, Montana. The applicant's representative is Alpine Surveying and Engineering, also of Bozeman, Montana. Legal description of the property: it's situated in the northwest quarter of Section 15, Township 2 North, Range 1 East of Broadwater County, generally located, situated off of U.S. Highway 287, approximately 30 miles south of the city of Townsend, Montana. And I should say east of Highway 287, thus the name Bridger Brewing East. New information analysis by the Broadwater County Commission. Section 763615 MCA governs the consideration of new information presented during the review of a subdivision application. On August 21st, 2024, the Broadwater County Community Development Director was given amended documentation for the further review of the Bridger Brewing East Minor Subdivision. The Broadwater County Community Development Director determined that this amendment constitutes new information pursuant to Broadwater County Subdivision Regulations 2A5B. On July 19, 2024, the Community Development Director sent notice to the applicant's representative requiring the subdivision application changes be presented to the governing body, the Broadwater County Commissioners, during a duly noticed public meeting. The Broadwater County Commissioners have scheduled a public meeting for consideration of only the new information that may have an impact on the findings and conclusions that the governing body will rely upon in making its decision on the proposed subdivision. The attachment is the amended preliminary plat application. New information. The new information and documents submitted as part of this subdivision application process since the last Broadwater County Commissioners' public meeting on February 21st, 2024 are discussed in this addendum to the staff report. Recommended findings of fact as they related to the primary review criteria and conditions to mitigate the impacts of the findings of fact are set forth in each section for the Broadwater County Commissioners' consideration, as well as an analysis of the 2020 Broadwater County Growth Policy. The Broadwater County Commissioners will also have to analyze public comment received during the public meeting to determine if the public comment is relevant, and if so, whether the public comment requires new or additional findings of fact and conditions to mitigate the impacts of those findings of fact. Only public comment on the new information can be heard by the Broadwater County Commissioners during the public meeting according to MCA 763615-2B. New information, amended preliminary plat. Summary. Water supply was discussed in the findings of fact and order report originally submitted to the Commissioners under Impacts on Local Services, Findings of Fact regarding water and wastewater. The findings of fact and order report stated, per Chapter 5K of the Broadwater County Subdivision Regulations, all water systems may be subject to approval by the governing body. Water systems required by the governing body shall meet the minimum requirements of the local reviewing authority, MDEQ, and the Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation. Where the subdivision is within the service area of a public water supply system, the subdivider must install complete water system facilities in accordance with the requirements of the jurisdiction involved and to the MDEQ, and must obtain their approvals prior to undertaking any construction. The public utility system, Headwaters Utility District, will be approved and installed prior to final plat approval of the subdivision. Based on the above and finding that pertain to water supply, one condition of approval was included in the original findings of fact and order report signed by the Broadwater County Commissioners on September 12, 2022. Those original conditions in the September 12, 2022 findings of fact and order document read as follows. Prior to submission of final plat application, the applicant shall submit plans for wastewater treatment and water supply systems to the Montana Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ, and the Broadwater County Environmental Health Department for review and approval. The applicant shall submit documentation to the Broadwater County Community Development Department from DEQ and the Broadwater County Environmental Health Department verifying their review and approval. All specifications and requirements of the approved plans that are required to be completed prior to final plat approval shall be met at the cost of the applicant. Upon meeting with the Broadwater County Community Development Director to discuss final plat approval, the subdivider realized the application stated each of the 5 lots would be connected to the Headwaters Utility District for water supply. However, the Headwaters Utility District does not currently have a potable water supply, only a wastewater treatment system. Therefore, the subdivider provided an amended preliminary plat application whereby only the existing well and public water supply system would provide water to the business on Tract 1. Since the other 4 parcels are greater than 20 acres in size, they are not subject to DEQ approval, and should any future owner of the parcels decide to drill an individual well on each lot, the possibility of the parcels connecting to the Headwater Utility District for potable water is still an option should the district ever be developed to provide potable water. Analysis. According to the 2021 Broadwater County Subdivision Regulations, Section 5K3, for subdivisions creating 1 or more parcels containing 20 acres or more, the subdivider shall submit the required information only to the local reviewing authority and the subdivision administrator. DEQ review and approval is not required. This demonstration to the local reviewing authority is to evaluate the ability to develop lots and is no guarantee that a source of water will be available when the lots are developed. Therefore, should any owner of a parcel in the Bridger Brewing East Minor subdivision decide to install an individual potable water well on the property, they will be required to work with the local environmental health officer for the approval. Suggested finding. Upon the county's acceptance of the amended preliminarily approved plat, this mitigates the developer's potential requirement to wait until the Headwaters Utility District has a potable water supply available before moving forward to receive final plat approval of the Bridger Brewing East Minor subdivision. Suggested conditions. No additional conditions should be required because the original conditions of the findings of fact and order report signed on September 12, 2022 included a condition pertaining to potable water. Conclusion. With the elimination of the connection to the Headwaters Utility District for potable water, the impacts on local services, water and wastewater shall be mitigated. And that concludes my report.
Okay. Any questions or comments for Nicole?
I do not have any.
Nothing?
Yeah.
No? All right. I don't have anything either. I guess, is there a motion to approve the amended application?
Yes. Make sure I say this right. I move to approve the amended application for Bridger Brewing East.
I will second that motion.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the amended application for Bridger Brewing East. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Commissioners, I'm going to give you my original for your signatures.
Okay.
Thank you.
Don't break tradition.
Are we doing the same process for this as we did last week?
We will.
Okay.
Start.
Go ahead.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to announce what this agenda item is?
I guess I should, wouldn't I?
I'm sorry. I don't have the agenda, or I would have.
All right. Thank you for reminding me, Nicole. Discussion decision, Nicole Brown, Community Development Director. Bridger Brewing East request for final plat approval.
I had a feeling that's probably what it said.
That's what it
Wanted
said.
to make sure. All right, Commissioners, Nicole Brown, Broadwater County Community Development Director, here to present Bridger Brewing East for final plat approval. What Commissioner Randolph has in front of her is the final plat binder that has all of the necessary items, or items I feel are necessary to achieve final plat approval on this plat. All of these documents have been made available to the Commissioners. You've had approximately a week to view these documents, but obviously if you have any questions through this process, I will do my best to answer those. So I'm going to read over the condition of approval. You will have the item that I believe satisfies that condition of approval coming around in order for you to make that determination. So, to begin, condition number 1. Prior to submission of a final plat application, the applicant shall submit plans for wastewater treatment and water supply systems to the Montana Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ, and the Broadwater County Environmental Health Department for review and approval. The applicant shall submit documentation to the Broadwater County Community Development Department from DEQ and the Broadwater County Environmental Health Department verifying their review and approval. All specifications and requirements of the approved plans that are required to be completed prior to final plat approval shall be met at the cost of the applicant. And what you have coming around is the DEQ approval letter, as well as a letter from our Broadwater County Environmental Health Officer, Megan Bullock. Moving on to condition 2. Prior to any development and/or soil disturbance, the applicant shall submit a subdivision noxious weed management and revegetation plan for the proposed subdivision to the Broadwater County Weed District for review and approval. All specifications and requirements of the approved plan shall be met at the cost of the applicant. The applicant shall submit documentation to the Broadwater County Community Development Department from the Weed District verifying their review and approval. And to satisfy condition 2, you have coming around a signed and approved Broadwater County Noxious Weed Management and Revegetation Plan. Condition 3. Prior to submitting the final subdivision plat application, the applicant shall complete a fire protection plan for the purpose of furthering fire protection. The fire protection plan shall be created with concurrence by the Three Forks Fire District. And you should have before you a signed and approved Three Forks Volunteer Fire Department fire plan. And just to elaborate on that, this subdivision does have hydrant locations. They are going to have hydrants on the property, and 2 or 3. I do not recall at this very moment.
Yeah, they're already installed.
They're already installed. I know there's at least 2, but I do believe there's 3.
Well, I should take that back. They might not be on this particular, on east, the new development part. No, they are in the current
And
one.
I know that they are on the current. I know that there is one near the business condominium, near the Bridger Brewing Pub. There is one there, and there is also one along Vigilante Way.
Yeah,
The only one I'm unsure of is the one along the eastern boundary.
yeah.
In any case, that plan is satisfactory to the Three Forks Volunteer Fire District. Condition 4, the applicant shall complete the following to construct the internal access roads. A, prior to submitting the final subdivision plat application, the applicant shall improve all subdivision roads, providing legal and physical access to all lots to the specifications required by the county subdivision regulations. And B, all roads are to be built in accordance with reviewed and approved plans. An engineer registered in the state of Montana shall certify all road improvements as meeting county subdivision road standards. The applicant shall be responsible for all costs associated with meeting this condition of approval. So what you have in this packet is not the signed and approved road plan. However, it is a subdivision improvement agreement and a letter of credit as is allowable by our Broadwater County subdivision regulations and Montana Code annotated. So the subdivision improvements agreement, referred to as an SIA, is for Vigilante Way North. So that is the, I think most of you are familiar where Vigilante Way is the road that connects to US Highway 287 and then turns to go south to Bridger Brewing. Vigilante Way North is, just as it describes, would be the road going north to Alexander's Way, which will then is a part of Montana Crossroads, which will then exit to the highway. So the SIA and letter of credit, or LOC, is for Vigilante Way North. The information in that packet is extensive. There is an engineer's report for the total engineering and construction of that road is $261,763. The letter of credit is for $327,203.75, which is 125% of the bid, which is what is required by Broadwater County. In the event that these developers and or the contractors are unable to deliver that, Broadwater County has the ability to collect on that letter of credit and contract. Typically, it would be a contract that we would contract that work out ourselves. The 25% is for the administration of that. This letter of credit expires on September 9th of 2027. So that means the developers will have until September 29th of 2027 to complete this work. So if the commissioners, you determine that this information does indeed meet final plat approval, you will need to sign, I believe it's the chairman only, will need to sign on this letter of credit. So the letter of credit is always signed by the chairperson of the board at the time, as well as the principal member of the company, so that it cannot be canceled or amended without both parties, the developer's party and the county, agreeing to that. So just to keep in mind, you will, if you do make that motion today, Chairman Fulford will need to sign. Any questions on the SIA or LOC before I move on to item number 5? Okay. Condition number 5. Prior to any construction, the applicant shall request an approach permit from Montana Department of Transportation for any proposed access points onto US Highway 287 for the subdivision approach roads. Installation of the approach shall be completed in accordance with the approved permit. So what you have coming around is the MDT approved approach. There is only one for Bridger Brewing East. It is Vigilante Way. It's currently in existence. And again, that northern road will serve the northerly lots, and the southerly road is already installed. But that one approach is indeed approved by MDT. You have the approved letter from MDT in your packet. Condition number 6. Prior to final plat approval, the applicant shall have plans for the location and installation of mailbox units reviewed and approved by the United States Postal Service prior to installation. The applicant shall submit documentation from the United States Postal Service verifying their approval. The applicant shall be responsible for all costs associated with meeting this condition of approval. And you have a letter there from the Three Forks Postmaster approving the mailbox location. Condition number 7. This is actually the plat, and I did not bring the large plat with me. It has the signatures on it. I don't like to take that document out of the courthouse. It has signatures of the property owners and our examining land surveyor, but I believe each of you would have had an opportunity to look at it. In any case, condition number 7 states, the applicant shall, at the applicant's expense, have a final subdivision plat prepared in accordance with the applicable state survey requirements and the Broadwater County subdivision regulations. In addition, the final plat shall show and describe the following. A no-access restriction along the western subdivision boundary adjacent to U.S. Highway 287, except for those approved by MDT. B, all existing and proposed utility easements on the subject property. C, any existing ditch or irrigation easements. D, mailbox locations and easements if on site. E, easements for fire protection facilities if on site. And F, easements for stormwater conveyance and detention or retention ponds if on site. So the only item that is not shown on the final plat is the ditch and or irrigation easements, because those do not exist on this property. And I know the plat you have in front of you is very small, but I know that each of you were able to view the large plat in my office as well as the electronic version. Condition number 8. This item has a sticky note flagging perfect where those covenants start. Condition number 8. The book and page reference to the restrictive covenants filed with the clerk and recorder's office shall be indicated on the face of the final plat. In addition, restrictive covenants shall be placed upon the property and shall provide for the following. A, notice is hereby given that all lots shall be used for commercial or industrial purposes only per the subdivision application. No residential dwelling unit for residential use shall be allowed. B, notice is hereby given that each owner of any lot by acceptance of a deed, therefore, whether or not it shall be so expressed in such deed, waives the right to protest joining or the amendment of a rural improvements district for the installation, maintenance, preservation, and repair of the following. Roads that provide access to the subdivision, stormwater improvements for the subdivision, fire protection improvements for the subdivision. C, notice is hereby given that each lot shall be maintained in a weed-free manner, and a noxious weed and revegetation plan has been prepared for the subdivision and is on file with the Broadwater County Clerk and Recorder's Office. D, notice is hereby given of the potential health risks from radon concentrations, and that such risks can be evaluated through soil tests and mitigated through radon abatement techniques incorporated into structures. E, notice is hereby given that all structures within the subdivision should be constructed to specifications which meet or exceed equivalent provisions in the applicable state building code for this seismic zone, which is Zone 3. F, notice is hereby given of a restrictive covenant binding the landowner, any heirs, successors, and assigns, and all future owners of property within the subdivision, agreeing therein to hold Broadwater County harmless and indemnify Broadwater County from all claims, demands, obligations, suits, causes of action, damages, and liability, including the county's costs and attorney's fees arising in any manner whatsoever out of or relating to the existence, use, operation, repair, and or maintenance of the following. Subitem 1, exposure to radon. 2, earthquake fault zone and any seismic activity. And 3, water availability. G, notice is hereby given of the presence of agricultural operations in the vicinity, and such operations may occur at varying times and seasons, and include but are not limited to the noises and odors due to the operation of machinery, the pasturing and feeding of livestock, irrigation, and the application of fertilizers, herbicides, and pesticides to fields. H, notice is hereby given that domestic pets should be restrained on the property at all times. Condition number 9. In cooperation with Broadwater County, the applicant shall create or expand an existing rural improvement district for the maintenance, preservation, and repair of the internal subdivision roads. And what you have before you is a road maintenance agreement. Condition 10. The applicant shall submit a signage plan for traffic control and street identity.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I going too fast?
Nope.
No, I was going too slow.
I can also slow down. Would you like me to
Just
pause?
occurred to you.
Would you like me to pause or keep
Oh, I
going?
have it memorized now.
Yeah.
I apologize.
All right, condition 10. The applicant shall submit a signage plan for traffic control and street identification signs for the internal access roads to the Community Development Department for review and approval. All specifications and requirements of the approved plan shall be met at the cost of the applicant. So what you have coming around, maybe?
Yep.
I'm
It's
kidding.
on its way.
Is a signage plan for traffic control. Final condition, 11, prior to final plat approval, the applicant shall A, provide proof that all real property taxes and special assessments assessed and levied on the property are paid for the current tax year, including any past delinquencies. You have a stack of paid tax receipts there. And the final condition, 11B, provide documentation showing that the applicant is the lawful owner of the property with the apparent authority to subdivide the same and showing the names of lien holders or claimants of record. So you have the updated plating certificate coming around. I want you to know also, sometime this morning while I was at the first half commission meeting, likely Rocky Mountain Title delivered there was a plating certificate on my chair dated yesterday's date, August 27th, that still showed Bridger Brewing LLC as the lawful owner of the property. So I just want you to know the version in there that I believe was dated, I don't know what the one in the packet is. I know it's August something. It's very, very recent. But I have one up
Yeah,
to,
22nd.
okay, there's one from the 27th as well. So, still same owner, which we do not require it up to the minute. We only require it within 6 months of the date of final. So that concludes my list of conditions.
All right.
Bless you.
I don't have any additional questions or comments. Anyone else?
No.
No.
Okay. If not, is there a motion?
Move to approve the final plat for Bridger Brewing East.
I will second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the Bridger Brewing East request for final plat approvals. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, commissioners.
It's your notebook when you get all that back.
Thank you.
All righty. You'll have plats for us to sign? Nicole?
Yes, Chairman Fulford, I have the plats in my office. I did not pull out the special pen. I can run do that. I have another meeting in here, not a public meeting, in the back room at 2. But I'll run and I'll get that special pen. It's a Sharpie. I'll get that out so you can sign the plats. It's special. And I will work with Angie to set a time that works for her to communicate with the owners of the property to come in and pay the final filing and recording fees.
Okay.
So again, that will not involve your participation, but just Angie and I will work on that part of it. But I will make sure that I get that pen out so you can sign the plats that are on my table in my office.
All right, very good,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Okay. Anything else come before the commission? If not, we'll move on to some claims. Claims in the amount of $12,370.51.
I move to approve the claims in the amount of $12,370.51.
I will second that.
Motion is made and seconded to approve claim in the amount of $12,370.51. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Claims the amount of $42,225.68.
I move to approve claims for $42,225.68.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve claims the amount of $42,225.68. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Claim in the amount of $692.13.
Move to approve claim for $692.13.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to approve claim in the amount of $692.13. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. If there's nothing else,
We're gonna have our commission meeting the second week of September on the 9th, right? Instead of the 11th. Did we-
oh, you are,
Yeah, the 9th.
yeah.
So,
Be on Monday instead of Wednesday.
yep. The week of the 9th, it will be on Monday the 9th, not Wednesday the 11th.
Okay. Good, anything else? Nope. All right, with that, we're adjourned. 1:36.